Hey guys, it's Kathleen Booth with Quintain here again for a Friday video blog series. This is a new series I'm doing. It'll be every Friday afternoon, so a little way to end your week. And I'm going to be talking about a variety of topics relating to marketing and sales. Everything from answering your questions to trends I'm seeing in the marketing world to articles I've read about in the press and have some strong opinions about. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of good stuff, but let's dive into it. This week the topic is why you should or should not work with a marketing agency. So this is an interesting topic, and I was hesitant to cover it, but somebody asked me to talk about it. Hesitant to cover it because obviously, I'm a little biased. We are a marketing agency, and so, of course, I would love everyone to work with us, but the truth is that not everybody should work with an agency. So I want to start talking about who shouldn't work with an agency before I get in who should. Who should not? So if you are a company that has a good in-house marketing department, there certainly is no reason you have to work with an agency. And when I say a good in-house marketing department, I'm really talking about two types of roles that need to be present. You need someone who is capable of developing good strategy, really a thought leader, someone who's keeping abreast of trends in marketing, who is hungry for data and knows how to look at it and spot trends that are coming, as well as someone who's more of a doer, someone who can take the plan that your strategist develops and run with it. At a minimum, those are the two roles that you need if you're not going to have an agency, and you're going to do marketing well, I should add that. You also shouldn't work with an agency if you're not really committed to doing marketing right. Quite honestly, it's a waste of money. When we first started out a long time ago, we had clients on very small retainers. We were working with tiny local firms, and I love local firms, and I love helping businesses to grow and succeed. But one of the things we learned was that to really move the needle, to have an impact on a client's marketing, a certain level of effort is required. And we stopped working on some of those smaller retainer contracts because we just couldn't get the results we felt like our clients deserved at that level. And it wasn't fair to them. It was asking them to spend money that wasn't going to bring a return. So now we're focusing on slightly bigger contracts that really give us the bandwidth to do what's needed to get results. So if you're small, you're really small, and you're only willing to put a little bit of money behind it, you shouldn't hire an agency. That doesn't mean you shouldn't market. It means you shouldn't hire an agency. You should probably find a freelancer who will work inexpensively, who is willing to take the few hours you can fund, and who can do a nice job for you and get you some results at a reasonable price. As soon as you hire an agency, the price is going to go up a little bit. And I would say most agencies charge somewhere between $125 and $250 an hour. Now, how much you're going to pay depends on the market that you're in. Smaller towns, smaller prices. Bigger cities, bigger price tags. And the experience level. If you're working with an inexperienced agency, they're going to be at the bottom of that price range. If you're working with, a big Ogilvy and Mather type agency, you're going to be at the top of the price range. So those are things to keep in mind when it comes to budgeting, but you can often get a pretty good freelancer for if you're looking for a doer, someone who's going to actually just do the marketing tactics, for somewhere between $25 and $35 an hour. And if you want somebody who's a strategic thinker, you're probably going to pay somewhere between $50 and $100 an hour. So you can see, just do the math, how you're going to spend less if you use freelancers. Who should work with an agency? If you are a company that is serious about growing the business and you recognize that means working on the business, and you're willing to put your time and your energy into that, and you're willing to put some money into it, then hiring an agency can really bring great returns. And the questions you have to ask yourself are, number one, what value is the agency going to add? So let's say you do have that thought leader, strategic thinker, and you have that doer within your marketing staff, what are some reasons you might still want to have an agency on board? Well, one is that you can get a lot more done if you supplement your in-house staff with an agency. And the biggest factor is really that when things get busy around your office and your full-time staff gets pulled into other things, your agency isn't going to have that problem, and they're still responsible for meeting your deadlines. So the accountability level becomes far greater when you outsource than when you insource. And there are fewer distractions. That's one good reason. But also agencies, because it is their business to serve clients, to do marketing day in and day out, and because they serve a variety of types of clients, they have visibility across B2B, B2C, e-commerce, product marketing, services marketing, big companies, small companies, different industries. They bring ideas to the table that I think otherwise might not be introduced, because they have visibility into how others are doing things, and they have the ability to see how one experiment works for one client and then roll it out across others. So you will benefit from the lessons learned of several other companies, whereas if your staff is entirely in-house, you're having to develop your own lessons and learn the hard way, and then rinse and repeat and iterate from there. So there are definitely ways to leapfrog and get better results faster by working with an agency. Another reason that it's good to work with an agency is the access to the talent pool. So, at agencies, you typically find a wide variety of types of people. You're going to find the thought leaders, the strategic thinkers, the people who you can sit in a room with and say, here's what's happening right now in my business. Here's what's happening with my competitors. This is what I want to do, where I want to take it. These are the challenges I'm facing. Give me some ideas. And these are the kinds of people who are going to be able to think on their feet and say, here's 4 things I think you should try, or this is what our priority should be for the next 3 months. So an agency is going to give that to you. An agency will also be staffed with a ton of doers. So if you need more bandwidth to get all that stuff done for those great ideas that they just introduced to you, you're going to get that in an agency environment. But you're also going to get specialists. So you'll have access to a team of graphic designers, web designers, people who are really good at search engine optimization, social media, pay-per-click advertising, video marketing, you name it. I could go on and on, but the point is that to hire all of those people in-house would be incredibly expensive. Whereas when you work with an agency, you have access to those specialized resources on an as-needed basis, and you can scale up or scale down, as your workflow presents itself. So those are a couple of really compelling reasons to work with an agency, but I want to close with some things that you should be aware of, whether you're going to work with an agency or not, but particularly if you are going to work with an agency. What you need to understand is it's not really a matter of just offloading marketing and kind of washing your hands and making it the agency's problem. You are still going to have to work on your marketing if you want to do it well. And there are definitely companies that say, I'm going to hire an agency, I'm just going to hand it off to them, they're going to do it and run with it, and I'm going to know it's getting done. You can do that. But that doesn't work nearly as well as saying, I'm going to hire an agency, I'm going to partner with them, we're going to work together to produce amazing content, I'm going to take a close look at the results we're getting, and together we're going to tweak it and make the results better and better every time. So I find that those types of clients, the ones who are really invested in getting the most out of the relationship, are the ones who do get the most out of the relationship. Not because they're squeaky wheels, but because they bring to the table all the years of business knowledge that they have that the agency simply can't replicate, whereas the agency brings all the years of marketing expertise and knowledge. And together, that's a really, really powerful combination. So if you're not willing to put the time and energy in to really working on your marketing, it's something to consider when choosing an agency. Are you really going to get the biggest bang for your buck if you're unable to make that contribution to the process? I'm not convinced that you are. And it doesn't just have to be you. It could be somebody on on your team who you assign and you say, you're going to be the point person for the agency and you're going to help us make sure that the right resources are brought into this process so that we can get the results we need. That's kind of the biggest lesson, I think, that I would take out from this. And also, finally, that it's about building relationships. So when you hire an agency, if you really want to get the most out of it, you need to look at that agency as a partner and not a vendor. You know, it shouldn't be about we want to get as many hours out of them as we can. It should be we want to get the best results out of them that we can. So maybe in your contract it said you're going to get 3 blogs a week, but if the agency comes to you 3 months in and says, we'd be better off doing 2 blogs a week and adding in a webinar every month because you'll see more leads generated, keep an open mind about those kinds of suggestions, because if you're so rigid about sticking to a plan just to check the box and know that you got something, you're really going to prevent yourself from seeing the results that drove you to the agency in the first place. So those are my thoughts on working with an agency. It's definitely not for everyone, but there are certainly some cases where it can benefit you as a company and help you achieve your goals faster. I would love to know what you think about this subject. It's obviously one that is very close to my heart, seeing as how I own an agency. I'd love to know if you've worked with an agency, what your experience was, particularly what your frustrations were and what you really liked. That's something that I think would be interesting for me to know, so that we can always work on improving what we do here at Quintain. So share those comments with me in the blog, or tweet me at WorkMommyWork, and I would love to get your feedback. I'd also love to know what you think I should talk about in the next video blog. So until then, TGIF, I know I'm ready for the weekend. I hope you have a great Saturday and Sunday, and I will see you back here next Friday. Thanks again. Have a great day.